Now on Nightside, an open forum for Central Valley parents held tonight, the fears and concerns that they brought to the table and what the district is doing about it.
And it's shaping up to be a foggy night around the inland northwest. We'll show you how to expect things to go in the morning.
And how a new Washington law hopes to include the clergy in its efforts to stop child abuse. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. Well, the longest home win streak in the nation finally came to an end tonight. The Gonzaga Bulldogs fell to Loyola Marymount 67-66 inside the McCarthy Athletic Center. It marks one of the biggest upsets in the college basketball season so far. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Aaron Luna.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Alex Crescenti is here, and we're watching this tonight.
Yep.
Julian Minenstone was there, and let's break it down.
You kind of had a feeling it was going to happen as the game really progressed and Loyola wasn't going away. But it was 5 years ago yesterday that the Gonzaga men last lost inside the kennel. And for the next 75 games, they were unbeaten until Loyola came in and shocked the world there. This was a team that Gonzaga simply couldn't shake all night long as they just struggled to shoot the ball from all points of the court. And the Lions pounced on the opportunity, going up by 7 with just under 3 to play. Now, the Bulldogs were able to make a comeback and take the lead with under a minute to play, but it was Cam Shelton with the game-winning layup that helped seal the deal and ended all kinds of history in the process.
It was going to end sometime, and you know, it ended in a tough, hard-fought battle. Our guys battled back and had a shot to keep it going. And but again, it's an unbelievable accomplishment by all our teams and actually by our fans in this community to post that big a number. And I don't think anybody's going to touch that thing for quite some time if you look across the landscape of college basketball.
Now, we're going to be talking a lot about these 75 games at home, but that wasn't the only accomplishment that ended tonight. They also lost a 93-game unbeaten stretch against unranked teams. That comes to an end. 36 straight in the month of January, 25 against LMU, 11 games overall. So it's going to be a long way building to get to that point if we ever see that again. And just to give you some context of how long ago that was since they lost in the McCarthy Athletic Center, some of the guys on the team right now were in middle school last. So it's been quite a long time, to say the least.
It hurts.
Yeah.
But at least it happened.
I mean, sure.
For some.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Loyola fan tonight, you're loving it, right?
I mean, at least they have the record, though. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Alex. Alex, you probably saw this going outside. There's some super dense fog out there, especially in some spots in my neighborhood. One street was super foggy. The next one, just clear.
Yeah, just patches. And we even got some video that I saw near 9 Mile Road and 7 Mile Road. You can hardly see through the fog and the bright lights there, but a car drove through a fence and hit a power pole, which knocked out power to that neighborhood. We aren't sure if the car crashed because of the fog, but in the video you can see how fog, you know, it's really just densely covering the whole road there. It was hard to make a left turn. I decided not to make a left turn there.
That's probably a good idea. It was hard just driving in some spots back to work tonight. Meteorologist Matt Gray in for Chris tonight with that first alert forecast.
Yeah, and I tell you what, when came back from dinner break, same thing here at the station. It was super thick, the little bank of fog that was sitting over us. That fog bank has since actually moved its way out of our portion of downtown here on Boone Avenue. We can see the courthouse. We can see the Veterans Memorial Arena. About an hour ago, you couldn't see anything off of this camera view. And now it looks like the fog has started to roll down towards the river and downtown. So really anywhere close to the Spokane River tonight, I think we are going to see some pretty foggy conditions. And at least for tonight, that fog, as you just saw in Kirsten's video, it's pretty thick out there. We're also seeing a lot of low cloud cover areas north of Deer Park around Loon Lake. We're seeing some fog and low clouds in the Liberty Lake area and across Coeur d'Alene. Most of this, though, is not touching the ground just yet. It seems like the real fog that's kind of right down at the ground level, that is sitting around the Spokane area, at least by just judging on the highway cameras, as we've been making a check of those as we've gone throughout the night over the last hour and a half or so. You can see this is 95 and Hanley Avenue in Coeur d'Alene, so still just some low cloud cover across most of Kootenai County. As we go later on in the night, though, it's likely that that cloud deck is going to lower and we end up with some more pea soup fog. That's what we're seeing in Omak tonight as well, where it's been foggy pretty much since about 5, 6 o'clock this evening. So more fog as we head through the overnight hours into the early morning commute times. Now, with our temperatures below freezing already and getting down into the mid-20s by the morning, it is going to be freezing fog. You are likely going to need the ice scrapers. I definitely did after dinner break tonight. And as we go through the morning, we'll see that fog slowly begin to lift. So when I come back, we'll take you through the rest of your Friday and have a little preview of the weekend.
Thank you, Matt. Well, new on Nightside, Washington state lawmakers introduced a bill last week that would require members of the clergy to report child abuse to law enforcement if they have reasonable cause to believe it happened.
Well, currently, Washington is one of the only states in the country that do not list clergy members as mandatory reporters. The bill was introduced by Senator Noelle Frame, a Democrat from Seattle. She says as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, the issue is personal for her, stating, quote, "I just think the idea that clergy have a duty to report when they hear about sexual abuse has got to be a no-brainer. When nobody is telling anybody, it doesn't stop, and victims don't get the support they need." End of quote. There's one exception. They do not have to report abuse if it was disclosed during confession. Frame hopes that keeping the confession exemption will make it more likely to pass. A hearing on the bill will be held in the Washington House of Representatives in Olympia at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, Colorado man Scott Verity says he was sexually abused around 100 times by his Catholic priest when he was an altar boy.
Now he's filing a lawsuit against that priest as well as the Archdiocese of Denver, claiming they are at fault because they knew he would pose a risk to children even before he was ordained as a priest.
With my abuser specifically, they knew about it since he was in seminary. And so I'd ask the Archbishop to make sure that he's doing something different and he's taking this seriously because the Catholic Church has not been really held accountable for just how much abuse occurred.
The lawsuit comes following a new law that allows victims to sue regardless of how much time has passed since it happened. The lawsuit targets Timothy Evans, who was convicted in 2007 of abusing another teen. He was paroled in 2020.
I saw that my abuser was released from prison about 5 years early from a sexual assault case that occurred at the same time that my abuse did. And I saw that Colorado legislature enabled like a look-back window. And it was always something I regretted not coming forward at the time.
Verity says his abuser told him no one would believe him if he told someone. He says he could not talk about what happened to him for a very long time, let alone file a lawsuit. About 24 other states have extended or eliminated their statute of limitations laws.
Plagued by vandalism, crime, trash, and even gunshots across the street, a church in downtown Spokane says it's had enough and it's time to move. For sale signs are up at Redemption Church. The historic building sits at the corner of 2nd and Division.
Well, if you're familiar with that area, there's a 7-Eleven at that intersection and a Starbucks too. About 8 years ago, the church used that Starbucks as a gauge as to what this community spot would look like when they moved in. Well, since then, the Starbucks has closed because of safety concerns. Redemption Church says criminal activity in the area just keeps getting worse. It's dealing with broken windows, theft, even gunshots nearby during a service. You can hear the shots in this video of the sermon
that you've set before us.
So after those two events, we really started looking seriously at what does our future here look like.
At the end of 2022, the church's insurance provider dropped coverage because the location was too much of a liability. Redemption is now on the hunt for a new spot, and the pastor hopes to stay within a few miles of the current location.
Coming up, the parents of the 6-year-old who shot his teacher break their silence. And what Ukrainian refugees need the most as the war with Russia rages on.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Empire Eye.
Let's wave the flag together. Hello, I'm Mark Peterson with 4 News Now, presenting the Great American Flag Swap. Bring your old tattered flag to Dave Smith in Kellogg, Idaho on January 25th, and in exchange, you'll receive a new American-made flag from Uncle Sam's Flag and Gift.
Dave Smith Motors has been serving the local community for over 50 years, and we're proud to support the Great American Flag Swap. If you've visited our dealership in the Silver Valley, you know how much we value our country and its national symbol of freedom. Dave Smith Motors, honoring our veterans and all who serve.
New tonight.
I don't think we've ever had a foursome as impressive as the four of you.
The cast of 80 for Brady joins Kimmel.
Tom Brady walks in. His aura was huge. My knees gave way.
Well, knees always give way.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
It's time to make 2023 the best it can be by joining the #1 voted gyms, Move Fitness. Whatever your New Year's resolutions are, we have the equipment, staff, and facilities to get the job done. Move Fitness.
Communities in School surrounds kids with a community of support to achieve success in school and life.
CIS provides critical resources like food, clothing, and tutoring so kids can focus on their education. CIS helps kids succeed inside the classroom and beyond.
Numerica is honored to partner with organizations like Communities in Schools who enhance lives, fulfill dreams, and build communities.
Check out more organizations that make our community stronger at numericacu.com.
4 News Now wants to take you inside the walls of Sacred Heart Children's Hospital to meet brave children and their caregivers. Miracle Mondays, brought to you by your locally owned Inland Northwest Ace dealers.
Country Homes Power, Spokane's #1 source for quality hot tubs and swim spas, has truckloads arriving from the top American-made spa manufacturers just in time for spring. Now is the time to reserve your new hot tub or swim spa. Get to Country Homes Power today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Sandpoint Furniture Carpet One.
Thanks for staying up with Nightside. From gun violence to online school threats, parents say they're worried about their kids' safety at school.
To ease some of their concerns, tonight the Central Valley School District talked about their efforts to improve school safety and open up the floor to hear from parents directly. New on Nightside, Rania Kaur joins us in studio. And Rania, you were in that meeting and you heard what was at times emotional responses from those parents.
Aaron, Kirsten, emotions were definitely high for the parents in attendance, clapping, nodding, and even crying along. Everyone just wants their students safe.
From the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde to the swatting situation at Lewis and Clark High School, the Central Valley School District says their safety plan is a combination of lessons.
Central Valley committed to having a full-time person, that their full-time function is to the safety and security of our students, our staff, and our community.
Addressing preventative measures in place.
Those key search things that are looked up only on the Central Valley system, we'll send an alert to the school administrator.
And how the district will communicate with parents if a situation like the fake active shooter calls at Lewis and Clark High School were to happen in their district.
So we encourage you, just if the communication says, we will let you know if your child's going to be evacuated and where to meet them.
Some parents brought up what they believe needs to be addressed.
In my view, every single person in every school should have hands-on comprehensive training with particulars to that specific building that they work in.
Parents impacted by the online threats made just this past weekend to students at North Pines Middle School took the microphone.
What I've talked to with the other parents, they have no idea if anything happened with other students.
Maria Garcia Bachman has one of her children completely online. The other has a hybrid schedule because of safety concerns. What's your biggest fear?
That my kids will be shot at school, and that I will be standing outside with all of the rest of the parents waiting for the news, and that the parents in the area will not care.
From This Information Night, the Central Valley School District Superintendent who was in attendance said they'll be working on improving protocols and working on the concerns brought up in the meeting. Aaron, Kirsten?
Rania, thank you. Well, you're looking at a security camera already in place at Lewis and Clark High School in the parking lot there. And during Wednesday night's school board meeting, a unanimous vote approved the addition of more cameras just like that in the parking lot. Now over 30 are on the way. The new cameras will be monitored by school administrators. There's been some crime in that parking lot, and they hope these cameras will bring an increased sense of security to campus.
Now, what you're looking at, it's not someone playing a video game, it's police training. This afternoon, officers at the Spokane Police Academy use virtual reality as a training tool. The Spokane Police Department says the new tool helps build a better officer and keep the community safe. The department is one of the first 100 or so agencies in the nation to start using this type of training. The officers are virtually immersed in everyday scenarios. Sometimes they need to reach for their stun gun. Other times it's their handgun. We're able to see what officers see in the headset on the screen behind them. You can see it in that video there. At the end of each training session, trainees can look back and see what they did well and where they can improve.
Ultimate goal in any situation is to de-escalate and make it a safe environment for all peoples involved, whether it be the citizens, the neighbors, or the person experiencing a crisis. That's our ultimate goal, and so this just gives us more tools and more opportunity to learn those.
The department's stun gun company, Axon, is giving the training. It will include all the officers starting the first week of February. The FBI is investigating a series of attacks and threats against reproductive health facilities. The attacks include acts of arson and vandalism in several states, including Washington, Oregon, and Colorado. Attackers also allegedly threw a Molotov cocktail at a health center in California. Attackers targeted pro- and anti-abortion establishments, including one Planned Parenthood and several crisis pregnancy centers. The FBI is offering a $25,000 reward for information that helps identify the people responsible for those attacks.
In Washington, the average monthly cost of full-time child care is $1,044 per child. That's about $261 per week and $12,528 a year. Again, that is per child. Senator Patty Murray is celebrating what she calls a major victory, having acquired an additional $1.8 billion in funding for child care nationwide. Washington state will get $110 million of that funding. And while the cost of child care continues to tear into families' budgets who don't qualify for these grants, she says this will help. Kira Bauer with Little Scholars Center says one of the biggest factors driving up her costs is employing a qualified staff. The child care industry is facing employment shortages. Child care directors are now trying to incentivize qualified, attentive staff with worthwhile pay. All of these hires are being tasked with juggling several skill sets to help advance children into the early stages of life.
People think that we're just providing daycare services. That is that's the minimum of what we provide here. Health and safety, that's first and foremost. But when you're talking about curriculum, you're talking about understanding your child's learning style, you're talking about preparing them for kindergarten.
Many centers are competing for a small number of child care provider candidates, and they are aggressively recruiting. Kira says child care providers are paid $23 to $25 an hour.
The Virginia teacher who was shot by a 6-year-old student is out of the hospital. Abby Zwerner will continue her recovery at home. The 25-year-old was injured on January 6th at Rich Neck Elementary School. The parents of the boy who shot her said in a statement, quote, "Our son suffers an acute disability and was under a care plan at the school that included his mother or father attending school with him and accompanying him to class every day. The week of the shooting was the first week when we were not in class with him. We will regret our absence on this day for the rest of our lives." The school has remained closed since the shooting. Meanwhile, the Zwerner family released a statement asking for privacy while Abby makes her recovery.
We now turn to your weather forecast. It has been a foggy night so far around the region. Although not for everyone, it is a little patchy, and so that fog has been moving in and out. At one moment it's pea soup, the next it's actually pretty nice and clear. However, at least in Stevens County and around the Omak area, we are seeing some more consistently foggy conditions. Meanwhile, it's fairly cloudy across much of North Idaho tonight, and so before long, we're going to start to see some fog begin to lower down to the ground here in Coeur d'Alene, where we're at 32. Spokane, we've been hovering in the upper 20s and low 30s with that fog hanging around. Likely going to be more foggy in the morning in the Spokane area, considering we have some around already. Our fog model not doing the best as far as computers go, but expecting some foggy conditions to eventually develop around the West Plains, north to Deer Park and in the downtown area. Be looking for things to be a little bit more patchy and more like low cloud cover over on the Idaho side of the state line in the metro. Temperatures overnight tonight are going to be some of the coolest we've seen in quite a few days. We've been kind of hovering in the upper 20s, low 30s. Instead, we're going to see some low 20s in places like Spirit Lake and in the mid 20s around that I-90 corridor. Here's your broad lows tonight. Some areas down to the teens, such as Winthrop, and only about 30 for a low tonight around Lewiston. As we go through the day, starting off with that fog, eventually seeing a few breaks in the clouds, a few peaks of sunshine, just a little tease. There will be a day, though, coming up in the extended forecast that gets a little bit sunnier than this. We're also looking at some snow in your forecast for the weekend, which we'll talk about when I come back.
Thank you. A new program called the Welcome Corps was unveiled by the State Department today. It allows American citizens to sponsor refugees to live in the United States.
The Welcome Corps is the boldest innovation in the U.S. refugee resettlement in 4 decades, and it reflects the Biden administration's commitment to expand community engagement as we rebuild our refugee program. Our goal in 2023 is to mobilize 10,000 Americans to step forward as private sponsors and help resettle at least 5,000 refugees.
Well, the State Department says it won't be open to everyone. The refugees will still have to go through extensive security vetting.
It's been 3 years since the first COVID-19 case was confirmed in the U.S. when a Washington man who had recently visited Wuhan, China, tested positive back in 2020. The World Health Organization says the virus still has not settled into a predictable pattern. Since then, there have been more than 102 million cases in the U.S. and more than 1 million people have died. COVID was the leading cause of death in the U.S. in both 2020 and 2021. The data is not available yet for 2022. T-Mobile customers, watch out. The company has revealed that a hacker stole the personal information of 37 million customers in November. Stolen data included users' names, addresses, emails, phone numbers, and dates of birth, but no social security numbers, credit card information, PINs, or passwords were exposed. T-Mobile says it is in the process of notifying affected customers.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
The 35th annual In the Northwest RV Show is on now through Sunday at the Spokane Fairgrounds. 6 gigantic dealers, hundreds of RVs, incredible show prices, low financing, and high trade-ins. Now through Sunday, Spokane Fairgrounds with free parking.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
It goes like one margarita, bluebird in my heart. Baby, you're playing hard to forget.
The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest, school safety is at the top of every parent's mind. What the Central Valley School District is doing to address your concerns.
Plus, a chance of snow this weekend. The First Alert Weather Team pinpoints when and where tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest.
More furniture is ringing in the new year with incredible savings.
With store-wide sale pricing, it's easy to find the best values to outfit your home for 2023. And right now, you'll get 60 months interest-free financing.
Create the bedroom of your dreams, gather the family in a dreamy new dining room, or relax in style with oversized comfort.
All with 60 months interest-free financing during the New Year's sale at More Furniture. Visit morefurniture.com to preview all sales special.
Are you ready for this? Ready to take chances? Will you push and break your limits? Are you ready to be a legend? This is your moment. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
The 35th annual In the Northwest RV Show is on now through Sunday at the Spokane Fairgrounds. 6 gigantic dealers, hundreds of RVs, incredible show prices, low financing, and high trade-ins. Now through Sunday, Spokane Fairgrounds with free parking.
4 News Now is brought to you by Silver Mountain Resort in Kellogg, Idaho.
Thanks for staying up with us. Let's take a look at your weekend forecast. Breezy conditions, slowly cooling as we go through the weekend, and a chance for some snow on Saturday. A lot of activity up north in British Columbia. Some of that is going to get down here as we get into that Saturday time frame. Pretty quiet until then. Mostly dry conditions, just some flurries up in the mountains. But here we go, Saturday afternoon. Look, from Colville all the way to the Cascades, things start to get a little bit snowy around that lunchtime to early afternoon time. Then as we head through the middle afternoon through about 5 or 6 o'clock, that's when the snow is going to push through Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. And then through the evening around the Palouse and north central Idaho, that's when we'll see that snow come through. So it's going to be in and out fairly quickly. This is about 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it's in, it's out, and it doesn't bring a whole lot of snow, but certainly enough to slicken things up around here. We should be cool enough that we'll actually see some of this stick a little bit more than the last couple of systems that have gone through. A chance for up to around an inch. Most of us, though, are going to see less than that as this comes through. So just keep that in mind as you're making some of those Saturday plans. And especially keep an eye on the timing of this. Make sure you take a look outside because our radar is getting a little bit of replacement generators coming in, and so the Spokane radar will be down. So don't let the snow sneak up on you. Keep it here on KXLY and KXLY.com. We'll keep you in the know through the weekend and beyond. Slight chance of a shower on Monday, or should I say a snow shower, and then looking fairly dry for most of next week. We'll be right back.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Ironstone Furniture and Fire.
You called us. We didn't call you. Why? When you walk in and you see a woman dead on the ground, blood everywhere, and you don't offer her assistance, why?
I'm a black man in the middle of a white neighborhood. I didn't want nothing to do with that.
So you weren't really prepared for what you were about to find? No.
Now, for the first time, the exclusive prison interview, the stunning 2020, Friday night on ABC.
Over the years, your floor can take a beating. From those indoor soccer matches to late-night parties, it's important to choose a quality product that will last a lifetime and add elegance to your home. Nobody has a better selection at a better price than the hometown pros at Windsor Plywood.
It's time to shop. Shop for wood.
At Windsor Plywood, they will help you pick it out, give you great tips on how to install it, and even give you ideas for other upgrades. It's a one-stop shop that's got it all.
Windsor Plywood.
Here we grow again. Even more fun is headed to Spokane Tribe Casino. You love Caesar Sportsbook, the grill and bar, and larger variety of games we recently added. Gear up for a new food court, a completely smoke-free gaming area, a state-of-the-art entertainment venue, and more. Things just keep getting better. Get in on the $100,000 giveaway and your chance at the $50,000 grand prize in honor of 5 great years of Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
More furniture is ringing in the new year with incredible savings.
With store-wide sale pricing, it's easy to find the best values to outfit your home for 2023. And right now, you'll get 60 months interest-free financing.
Create the bedroom of your dreams, gather the family in a dreamy new dining room, or relax in style with oversized comfort.
All with 60 months interest-free financing during the New Year's sale at More Furniture. Visit morefurniture.com to preview all sales special.
Coming into Thursday, the Gonzaga Bulldogs carried a bit of history with them, unbeaten at home in the last 75 games and 93-0 against unranked teams. And you're thinking there's no way that's coming to an end as they welcomed in 14-6 Loyola Marymount. But if we saw this team over the last month and how they played with fire, it was only a matter of time until they got burned. And this one is going to sting for a long time. We pick up the action with less than 3 seconds left to play in the half. LMU inbounding and Justin Ahrens is going to get the shot off in time. That's good from beyond the arc. And it's just a 1-point Gonzaga lead going into the break. Into the second half, this is where the Lions really start to impose their will. Cam Shelton was playing at an all-world level tonight. He drains the 3 and would lead all scorers with 22 points on the night. So the Bulldogs didn't answer. On the next possession, Anton Watson with a strong drive to the basket as he helps tie the game back up. Later in the half, a botched handoff is going to lead to a turnover, and Jalen Anderson takes it all the way, finishes with the easy layup, and Loyola goes up by 9. We're just going to fast forward to over a minute left to play. Gonzaga down by 2, but Watson with the great steal. He's there for the clear path, a big dunk to help tie it up again, and hope lives on. But after the Bulldogs go up by 1, the Lions get their last shot, and Cam Shelton was not going to miss. Goes one-on-one with Drew Timme, gets the bucket to go, and LMU takes the lead seconds from the upset. Gonzaga gets one more shot. It's Timme. He gets a good look at the drive to the basket, but that's off the backboard. They get the offensive rebound. That shot is off the mark by Strother, and that'll do it. The 75-game home win streak comes to an end as the Lions shock the world. That streak was not the only one that ended tonight. They also lost 93 games unbeaten against unranked teams, like we mentioned, 36 straight in the month of January, 25 against LMU, and 11 games overall.
Tough thing was we just put ourselves in such a hole, you know, both in the first half with some offensive execution things and just some timely defensive breakdowns. And then, you know, they pounded us on the glass pretty good.
They outboarded us, and we knew they were going to be a physical team. They're always physical, and we got our next game is going to be physical. But, yeah, we knew it was going to be a physical game, and we had a tough time scoring.
Bulldogs will now travel down to California this weekend to take on Pacific, and they will undoubtedly lose that number 6 ranking when the polls come out on Monday. Staying with the Zags, the 16th ranked women taking on Pacific earlier this afternoon. In the first, Gonzaga up early, and Michaela Williams helps add to that with a 3 from the top of the key. And the Bulldogs off to a 12-0 start. But back come the Tigers as Anya James receives the pass under the basket, finishes with the layup, and that's a 1-point game. In the third quarter, Zags in control once again, and off the rebound, Caitlin Trong is going to go quickly up the court, is going to wait until the very last moment to dish it to Brianna Maxwell as she finishes. In the fourth, Gonzaga trying to just hang on. Ivana Ejim was going to ice it with a little shot, a little jumper right there at the basket. That goes down. She finishes with 22 points, a game high, as Gonzaga survives to get their 11th win on the season, remain perfect in WCC play. They're not going to stay down in California for the weekend. Did a little laser tag tonight. They're going to face off against St. Mary's on Saturday afternoon. And over in Cheney this morning, Eastern Washington was hosting Northern Colorado. In the first minute of the game, Lisa Lawrence is going to be left all wide open, knocks down the 3-point shot, and the Eagles leading early, but back come the Bears. Off a fast break, Gabby Fields finishes with the layup to extend the lead, and they would maintain that until the third quarter, that's when the Eagles go on a run. Caden McNeil receives the nice pass and gets the bucket as Eastern retakes the lead. They wouldn't look back. From there, Jadia Martin, she's been hot all season, sinks the 3, makes it a double-digit lead, and that's all she wrote. They go on to win this game 49-36, limiting Northern Colorado to just 12 points in the entire second half. Eagles earn their 11th win on the season as they'll welcome in Northern Arizona on Saturday afternoon. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Download the 4 News Now app today. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
If your checking account isn't earning you money, it's time to switch to bonus checking from Numerica. The account that earns an incredible 2% annual percentage yield. That could earn you up to $500 every year or more.
The biggest Tempur-Pedic event of the year is on right now at More Furniture.
Your best night's rest is available at an incredible value.
Choose the Tempur-Pedic that suits your sleep style and outfit your bed with a free set of sheets, mattress protector, and 2 free Tempur-Pedic pillows.
We will also remove your old mattress with free white glove delivery of your new one.
Plus, you can take a full 72 months to pay with interest-free financing. Don't wait. The biggest Tempur-Pedic sale of the year is on now, only at More Furniture.
Are you ready for this? Ready to take chances? Will you push and break your limits? Are you ready to be a legend? Are you ready to fight to be fearless? Are you made for greatness? This is your moment. Are you ready for this?
Country Homes Power, Spokane's #1 source for quality hot tubs and swim spas, has truckloads arriving from the top American-made spa manufacturers just in time for spring. Now is the time to reserve your new hot tub or swim spa. Get to Country Homes Power today.
STA is a great place to work for a few different reasons. There are definitely a lot of opportunities here at STA, no matter where you start at. There's always opportunities for advancement, things to help you move from one position to the next.
All the departments here, paratransit, fixed route, we all work together to help the community, and that's why I like to work here.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
How about 10 mummified crocodiles to say goodnight?
What?
What do you think? Yeah. This is my bedtime story for you.
There you go. Sweet dreams.
Look, these are dating back to nearly 300 BC. Spanish archaeologists found an undisturbed tomb containing the mummified crocodiles. They say they may have been used during rituals for the Egyptian god of water and fertility, who is often shown with a crocodile head.
I've seen the Mummy movies. Bury those things again. They shouldn't see the light of day.
You should never have dug those up.
A script writer is rubbing their hands together right now.
What a plan.
The Mummy 7? 8?
4.
Oh.